Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Mariam. I am a biomedical science student at the University of Westminster.
My name is Mary and I work in the marketing team at the University of Westminster. Where are you from? And if you feel comfortable, can you talk about your refugee journey?
Of course. So I am Syrian. I was born in Syria. I was raised in Lebanon, but by the time the war started, I was actually in Syria. I was visiting, and me and my immediate family, so my mom and my two brothers, we got stuck in the war, and we got stuck for around 14 months. Then we went back actually to Lebanon, but this time we went as refugees. It was okay, but people looked at us differently because this time we are refugees. You can't go back to our country because of the war. We stayed in Lebanon around 3.5 years, and then we were given the opportunity to come to the UK. Yeah, we were given the visa. Obviously, we were over the moon.
So I was born in Iran, but I grew up in Finland. We moved to Finland when I was about 7 years old. I guess I would say we were one of the lucky ones in a way, because my dad was a scientist in Iran, and he developed different tools and machines and solutions for people with disabilities. So he would travel to different countries, to different conferences to talk about his inventions. And then Finland offered us a family visa. So we were really lucky to just, fly to Finland, live there. And actually at the time when we left, my dad said families were not allowed to leave Iran. And the fact that we were able to get a plane as a family was a miracle. And I remember the story of my dad saying at the airport that apparently, the airport announcements, apparently they said my dad's name, but with a different last name. So he said for those 2 seconds when he heard his first name, his heart stopped. I was like, oh my God. But then it was someone else. Yeah. So we were really lucky in a way.
So what has been your biggest struggle as a refugee, and how have you overcome it?
Growing up in Finland was quite difficult because everyone is, blonde, they have fair skin. I had this massive afro. I had dark skin. So I did face a lot of racism. So that was quite difficult for me. But I think once I learned the language, I was able to integrate with the society and just became friends with people, could actually speak to them in the language. So it did get better. I think the first few years were quite difficult. And culturally as well. I think in Iran, we like to hug, we like to, be very friendly, whereas in Finland, everyone likes to have their own space. So it's really difficult for me. I remember I used to hug my classmates and kiss them on the cheek, and they'd be like, this is weird.
It's similar to my story actually. It's just the language barrier, when you move from a country to another, especially when there is a language barrier, you find it very difficult to settle in, especially the first year or two.
And how did you overcome it?
So I overcame it by actually focusing on myself, focusing on working on myself. I tried to, sneak into, conversations, especially with elder people. I would just listen sometimes. If I can't share my ideas, or if I can't, speak the language, I would listen, and I would try to say, to repeat what they were saying. And by that, actually, I started picking up the language very, very quickly. Especially I was very young. I was 13 when I first came. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me as well, once I learned the language, it was so much easier to just be part of the communities around me, because you could actually express yourself. Would you say that being a refugee has impacted your mindset?
Yeah, of course, in many ways. It actually motivated me a lot to prove myself to the world. I really wanted to prove that I can actually learn the language, I can study hard, and I can, become what I want to become. It actually also helped me or motivated me to actually show my capabilities to the world.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's, obviously your mindset becomes stronger because you're going through a process of trying to integrate into a new society, but also you feel like you can do anything.
Yeah.
Because you've done something so drastic, like left your home country. I mean, you were in the war, so I feel like you've been through so much.
I agree, actually. It makes you so strong to the point that you think whenever you face something hard or difficult in your life, you just know, oh, I overcame way harder things, so I actually can overcome this as well. So it does actually.
Yeah, I agree.
So what sort of help and support did you get when you moved to Finland?
So I think I received a lot of support in Finland. Obviously, I started going to a language school. I also started school quite soon after we moved to Finland, just to have that additional support and feeling like I was part of a community. And then obviously I moved to the UK when I was a young professional. So I received a lot of support, from my university. And then in my professional career, I've been able to, I don't know, I feel like in London, especially, diversity is really celebrated. So I would say I didn't feel weird coming to London, moving to England. I think it was more of a thing for me in Finland.
Yeah, I actually agree. London is very diverse. Like, you have so many different cultures, so many different people from different backgrounds. So I feel that people are more accepting in London. When we first arrived to the UK, we went to a very English town. So it was quite hard to accept at the beginning because, as I said, we couldn't speak the language and we also looked very different. But people were very, very nice. They were very supportive. Even like my brother's teachers, they used to come and visit us, check on us if we need anything. They used to help us, go around the town and find out, about different places that we can get our groceries from. So it was good, actually.
How did you end up at Westminster?
The reason I chose the University of Westminster was because the course requirements, it was very suitable for me. The community as well, it's very mixed. It's very, we've got different cultures around, and I feel people are very, very nice around here, to be honest. Location, it was very central. It was very close by as well, which is very great for my parents because they didn't want me to move out. Yeah, and also it's a great place to explore London. I actually explored a lot around London since I started university, so it's great.
The reason why I chose Westminster is because it's a very diverse university. It really aligns with my values. I saw the job on LinkedIn and it was for one of the creative campuses. So I'm very creative. So I was like, this is the right role for me. And then when I did my research, I really resonated with everything on the website, like diversity, being yourself, being part of a community. And that's why I applied and joined Westminster. What were your experiences at secondary school?
So I came to the UK when I was in year 9. As I said, I didn't speak any English at the time. So my secondary school was very, very supportive. They provided me a lot of English and math lessons, like a lot of lessons. They were definitely the reason why I picked up the language so quickly. It was quite hard though, because when I first entered the school, I didn't speak English. So I spent around 4 years to 5 years at school without friends. So it was quite, a depressing time for me. I was the first person to pick up the language. I was basically the source of support to all of my family and everyone around. I had a lot of responsibilities at such a young age. I was 13 or 14. So yeah, but in general, my school was amazing. What do you most enjoy about Westminster?
So I honestly think Westminster is one of the most diverse places to work at. My managers are very supportive. I'm not the only non-native speaker in the team. In the past, I've worked for companies where I've been the only person that's not a native speaker. That's always been a huge problem for me. Whereas at Westminster, I think they want diverse people to join the team. So I find that really empowering.
So I totally agree with what you just said. Diversity is a huge part of the University of Westminster. I actually managed to make a lot of friends at the University of Westminster from different nationalities. I learned a lot about different cultures, to be honest, and it's fascinating. It's amazing, you know, not just to know about other people's culture, but also to share your own culture as well.
Yeah, you know, sometimes when companies say they're really diverse or they're really supportive, but actually that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Westminster really respects those values. So what support have you received from the university?
I received a lot of support from the University of Westminster. I had a personal tutor who was very helpful. He used to always, make meetings and ask me to join the meeting, if I needed any help, outside or inside the university, to be honest. They were also very nice and supportive. They provided also a lot of help and support whenever we needed. If I have any questions or anything, I would just, stay at the end of the lecture and, they would actually help, and they would give me from their free time actually to help me, which was very nice. I also love the facilities in the University of Westminster. I love the library. It's very comfy, it's very nice. I love the quiet zone. I just, whenever I want to study hard or, just focus without having any friends or any chit chat around me, I'll just go to the silent zone or quiet zone, and I would just study there, and it's very nice. I also love the labs. They are very modern and they have everything you need as a biomedical science student. So what are your aims and aspirations for the future?
So I would love to continue growing in my role. I love marketing. I think it's like a combination of strategy and creativity. And it's, working for a university has a lot of purpose and meaning because you're actually helping students to find higher education rather than just promoting a product. So I really enjoy that side of things. So what about you?
Yeah, so I have a lot of actually aspirations and aims for the future. Main one is to actually get into medicine. I actually got into Westminster because I wanted to do biomedical science as a pathway to medicine. So once I graduate, I'll apply to medicine as a postgraduate, and in this way I think I'll be able to do medicine for 4 years instead of 5. And yeah.
Amazing. Do you want to be a doctor?
I would love to become a doctor. Also, I would like to also become a content creator on social media. I actually want to enter social media to be able to give informative and helpful content, not just, random and entertaining content only. I might do both actually.
That's great, yeah.
So, what advice or message would you give to others who are facing similar challenges to you?
I would say just keep going. There's this inner strength within you that is there. You might not always know it's there, but it's there. Just keep going until you achieve what you want to achieve. I think, your background can be a force that allows you to push harder and to make your dreams come true. I ended up going traveling alone for 5 years. I was backpacking in Australia and Southeast Asia, and that was all because my background just had somehow impacted the way I was showing up and made me feel stronger.
So my advice would actually be, whenever a door shuts in your face, a window will open for definite. So don't put all of your attention and focus on the door that is shut in your face. Go and look out from the window. And I'm sure you'll find opportunities if you keep working hard, and you can build up on these opportunities to get wherever you want to get to.